Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the MacBook Pro 2021. Yes, I have had this MacBook Pro for a week now and I have been using it relatively a lot. I've been running my 3 YouTube channels with it, editing videos, etc, etc. And I have some thoughts about it. Now for reference, I am actually using an M1 MacBook Air as my main laptop of choice. So going from, I guess, an M1 to an M1 Pro, as you can see here, with the footprint of the size, it's a much bigger machine, the 16-inch over the 13-inch Air. As I say though, having this device for a week, I've got some thoughts, and it's not really meant for everyone. I don't think this machine is meant for everyone. I'm relatively new to editing 4K videos on my YouTube channel, so having that extra power, is nice. Don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't recommend this laptop for people like myself. The laptop is great, but the cost of this laptop to do what I'm doing now, the only thing that is really beneficial, that is lovely to have, is that 120Hz ProMotion display. Like, I am somebody now who, bringing these ports back, I've kind of got used to not having them. So even with a week's use, I'm still not seeing the ultimate benefit of having these ports back. And to make that even worse, I still had to use my dongle because for some reason, whenever I plugged in this USB-C hard drive that I have, which is basically my editing hard drive, the MacBook wouldn't recognize it. It would recognize it on my MacBook Air, like straight away. When I plugged this into the MacBook Pro, it didn't work. It only worked when I used the adapter. So one of the things I was trying to test, obviously with having ports again, it wasn't working. I had to use this adapter, which has every port on there anyway that I need. I'm just so used to having to have a dongle nowadays, so I didn't really see the need for the ports, I did use the SD card port on there. I did like that. I did like, just being able to put that in. But as I say, it's not the be-all or end-all. It's not something you definitely need, and it's certainly not worth the $2,000 starting price for these laptops. So, as I said, here's why I can't recommend this laptop for the price point there is, especially the 16-inch, which is what I'm reviewing here. It's a lovely experience. I'm not going to lie, it's a great experience. The screen is phenomenal. It's such an immersive experience when you're editing videos, when you're just viewing any content. It's just really, really good. It is top class at that. I also did get a chance to check out the 14-inch in the Apple Store, and it's exactly the same as this, just in a smaller form factor. It's it's perfect. It's an amazing immersive experience, and I will give it that. Much more immersion over using this MacBook than my MacBook Air, but as I said, this cost nearly 3 times as much as what I paid for my MacBook Air. And that's the thing I think people are going to get really hung up on with these new MacBooks. The MacBook Pro, this is what they're aimed for. They're aimed for professionals. I do videos in 4K, but I would never class myself as a pro. And this is like one of these things on YouTube you see a lot of. You see a lot of YouTubers making out and kind of advertising that people need to get a pro machine, when in actual fact, they're not pros at all. They are so hung up on all their videos about I need this, I need more this, I need more this, I need more that, I need 32 gigabytes of RAM. Well, yeah, okay, but this is where I think YouTubers shouldn't say and talk specs that much, in my opinion, about what they are going to get, because what they get is definitely not what other people need, definitely what their audience doesn't even need. Most people in the world will get by fine with this MacBook Air. Got 2 ports in it, one to charge, one to plug something else in. Most people, they just want to browse. Everything is pretty much wireless. They're not even, everything's in the cloud and stuff. They're not even plugging in USB things anymore, I'm probably aimed more at the high-end target market of this MacBook Air. With, if you're somebody that requires a dongle for everything, SD cards and everything, you are on the borderline of moving from this into the M1 MacBook Pro even. And that's where this laptop for me doesn't really have any value for me. It's a great looking machine. I'm not gonna lie, it's a great looking machine. As you can see here, it looks phenomenal. It feels phenomenal. It's built phenomenal. But this is, in effect, a Gen 1 product. This is the first year of this design. So this is the most expensive this design is going to be for a while, really. This design is going to seep through. There's already talk now of the MacBook Air having white bezels with a notch, with a thin design, with the MagSafe. with probably the fast charging capabilities then. There's already some of these features that will start at MacBook Pro but eventually come down to MacBook Air, and even they'll have a budget friendly MacBook Pro, which they've currently got on the lineup now, which was the exact same design language as the previous generation but just had less ports. So this is what I'm saying, like, I think if you can wait and you don't need a MacBook Pro and you don't see yourself as a pro but you want some of the pro features, I would wait. Like, wait 12 months. This time next year, we're going to get like a bigger iMac, which may be more consumer focused as well. A new MacBook Air is due, as well as maybe the new MacBook Pro. We may see that a MacBook Pro like this, but kind of, I guess, toned down a little bit. You may have 2 USB 4 ports on there and a MagSafe charger, and that's it. So this is my thing with this laptop. It's a great laptop. I would recommend it to anyone that needs it. But the thing is a lot of people, and most people don't. I do videos like every day. Like, I'm potentially uploading 6-7 videos a week. I'm practically editing every day. And not even I class myself as needing a MacBook Pro. You know, I would like something with a bigger screen, hence why I'm probably in the market for more of an iMac, or I could use an external monitor with my MacBook Air. But for me, the MacBook Air, just performance-wise, with 8 gigs of RAM, 250, I got the baseline, so I've got the bin CPU of M1, and it's great. It edits all my videos. I went from one of the cheaper versions of the MacBook Pro on the Intel version last year, and it's just leaps and bounds better than that. It's so portable. I can take it wherever I want to go. If I've got like a family member that needs help with their internet, which I had recently, I had to like take this to plug it into their router. It just works. It's got the advancements of Mac OS. M1, in my opinion, though, is perfect for small-time creators. You know, if you're just doing some video editing, some photo editing, I think it's great. If you've got the cash, if you want that experience, if you like need a HDMI port that you're going to use every other day, maybe in the office or something, I understand. But most people should look at the MacBook Air M1 as their machine. While using this though, there has been some things I like, and there has been some things I wish was on my MacBook Air. Things like, you know, having MagSafe to charge and then having 2 ports. That's one of the biggest things I struggle with on my MacBook Air, is having 2 ports, because like I said, I have my dongle which goes in one, I charge on one, I need a hard drive. It kind of can get a bit full sometimes. What I've liked about this is that one of the ports, basically MagSafe, is, you know, is just charge, and then the other ones are, you know, there for my hard drives, there for everything I want. So I've liked that. I've also really enjoyed the Touch ID sensor, which is basically now like a ring, so it's much more like you know, the iPhone way back when. And I've also liked the keyboard on this, although the keyboard doesn't feel as different, but it just feels a bit more spacious. But that's obviously because of the much larger footprint of the 16-inch. All in all though, I would highly recommend this laptop if you could afford it, if you need it, and you know, if you just want it. You know, nothing wrong with spoiling yourself. For me, I'm just documenting my like experience with it, and for me, the M1 MacBook Air is just by far the most powerful laptop that I actually need, so I don't need to spend like $3 on one of these. But there is people out there that do, and I'm not knocking those that don't. I'm just saying that like you should just like order a MacBook Air or even the M1 MacBook Pro and just try it out for 2 weeks. Apple offers a service where you can try out the device and use it and then return it if you don't like it within 2 weeks. Hence what I'm going to do with this one. Before dropping like upwards of $2,000, it's worth just buying a MacBook Air for $1,000 and just trying it out. You may surprise yourself. You may find that you're actually just, this is the performance you need. You may find yourself, oh, I want a bit more storage or something, so you return that MacBook Air and then buy one with more storage. Obviously, if you just need a computer straight away and you've got the cash, great, do it. But I would just recommend that to people. Just have a go at MacBook Air. There's a bit of a marketing thing going on with this, obviously. People just think getting Pro means it's the best one. Obviously, it is. There's no denying that. But a lot of people who have computers don't need it. So I'm trying to like reach out to the people that just buy computers for computer's sake. Having a computer, you know, printing, email browsing, documents, a little bit of work, Teams, Zooms calls, those type of things. A lot of people don't need a MacBook Pro for that, unless of course you've got the money for it. So there you go guys, there is my thoughts on the M1 Pro MacBook Pro. Again, that naming is really bad, but in a nutshell, I love it. You know, it's a great machine, but it's just not aimed for me. It's an amazing machine for somebody who wants it, and I personally can't wait to have some of these features in the future, which hopefully comes like in a new MacBook Air, which we've seen rumored. Like having MagSafe and 2 USBs would be such an upgrade for me, just to have those 2 free USB-C ports there. The ProMotion display was amazing, but I've quickly got used to just using my Air again. But yeah, there's my thoughts guys. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and of course I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.